Hi,
Hello.
welcome back to Twin Humanities. Paddy's the ginger one, CJ's the brunette. Buy our album in the record stores. You can get it on cassette.
It's nice to know that we're so current.
Yeah, I know. We've not done one of these for a while for a reason. And that's because my beautiful colleague is getting married or coming to the final conclusive stages of getting married. And because I've press ganged him into this, there'll probably be no pudding.
Yeah. Because,
No
yes,
pudding.
I should be planning things right now. I should be chasing down vendors. And actually, it's funny you say that. The pudding is the only one I haven't
down
spoken
vendors. I just
pudding.
imagine like people playing flutes and like, hey you vendor, what me? Yes you. One mango for my wedding, please. That will be 75 shiny coins.
It really is like that, though. Yes, the only vendor I've yet to contact is the ice cream person. So
I thought
there
you
very
lived
well
in-
might not be dessert.
I thought you lived in Portsmouth, not 1725.
Yeah. We don't use money. We use a system of bartering.
Yeah, but contrary, we do have rather good internet.
Why, sir, I will pay you 3 cows for that ice cream.
If you are drinking along with the show and being a beverage god, I am drinking Starbucks Catty blend today. Citrus and spice notes, delicious hot or iced. Now this is where it gets interesting because I was going to mention this. It says Catty is Swahili for between, and we have indeed been between episodes.
It's a little bit stretched, I'll be honest.
It's a tenuous link, and I was reading the package when I was brewing the drink, and I thought, this is a good thing to bring up, and I regret that now. I've missed you.
I've missed you too. I'm drinking Tesco tea.
Honestly, you gypsy. Nothing wrong with being a gypsy.
No.
You sang that song, You're a Gypsy.
Wait, what?
I'm sure there's a song that goes, You're a
I
Gypsy.
think it's just your mind.
No.
Do you sing that to yourself when you see a gypsy?
Yeah, when I form my band, My Mind, or Your Mind. That doesn't work in... It actually sounds weirder if you call it Your Mind, because even when you're saying that I've got a band called Your Mind, which then becomes My Mind, when I say it as My Mind, it just sounds wrong. And
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. Your mind.
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah, we talk about Dark Souls, don't we, usually?
We do, but I think we should talk to people about the fact that you are coming close to your biggest uber superest day.
Yes, I am. Yes.
So that's the reason we've not been doing stuff, and it's not been because of laziness or anything like that. Because I know that you are flat out with this, and we just want to let people know that we do fucking miss doing this like crazy, and Dark Souls stuff in general. And whilst we've snuck in odd bits sort of here and there, I've still been playing it like fucking crazy noughts. You are doing big stuff to get close to the wedding, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I say I've barely touched it. That would be a massive lie because I'm a lazy shitlord. But I haven't delved in as much as I would have liked. Again, just because I'm spending all of my evenings chasing down the vendors. That's now the term for wedding planning, chasing down vendors. I spent most of my evenings, I've been hanging around the arena mostly, and that's basically all I've done for like the last, month, maybe? Since the last time we chatted, I think I did a lot of fist bro at that point, and since then all I've done is basically the arena. Odds and sods, in the morning, here or there for 5 minutes.
To give people an idea as well, like you and I are thick as thieves, and we've talked all the time. Even within this last month, we've spoken once.
Maybe
and
once.
That's last week when we tried to sort of arrange a podcast, but kind of couldn't. So we sort of caught up a little bit. But I fucking miss you, man.
Right? Yeah, man. I miss talking to you. Like I'm losing my words. I'm just so sad, man. because I've been running so flat out, there just hasn't been time, and I've loved to have been chatting, but there just isn't any. And I get to the end of my nightly planning, and I'm working full time as well, quite a physical job. I get home and I plan. It gets to about 10 o'clock, and then you know what, I'm going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what is weird? I found that I've become an adult the last couple of months.
What?
I've been waking up at 7 and then getting up.
Take that back.
I've never done that.
Hey?
Never. 10 o'clock is normal for me.
You still ginger?
I'm still mostly.
We can. You've had your hair cut though, haven't you?
I have had a style, and I'm getting it cut again next week.
Really?
A stylish trim before the wedding.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
but also adulthood.
Don't expect miracles, everybody.
No. Expect magic or perhaps pyromancy. See, I brought that back to Dark Souls. I miss you. I had a joke in my back pocket. I also regret that now. I'm just going to take another delicious drink of catty.
Cool. So while you're supping that, just to keep the listeners involved, because they're here too. This will
Get out of my living room!
Yeah, damn it, man.
All three of you.
Why hoovered? But while this will probably be the last show for a couple of weeks, I would have thought, because my wedding is just under 2 weeks from this day of recording. My wedding is on the 11th of August, and I will be immediately heading off from there to the Germany.
Let's break this, because there's another side to this.
Yes, because I'm going to the Germany, and on my honeymoon.
Are you going to the Germany? Are you going to watch Bayern Munich or another German team, or...
I'm going to go watch Real Madrid. They're German, right?
Carry on.
Right. I am going to that show that you might have heard of called the Gamescom.
And what are you going to play there?
I might play some Bloodborne.
Oh my god, a hands-on with Bloodborne.
I might get to put my hands on it.
What a coup for the show. What a coup. We would have little Bloodborne chickens in our coop. What a coup for the show.
Such a coup.
And then climb into a car with no roof. Hey, look, we're in a coop with a coop about Bloodborne. Hey, chickens, get in. Okay.
And then drive that into a co-op.
Okay, are you excited about that?
I'm very excited. Yes, I'm very excited. Laura, I was talking to her in the car the other night about being excited to go down and play some Bloodborne. She's like, we're not just going to stand in a queue for 4 hours while you talk about Dark Souls. This is our honeymoon. I was like, yeah, but we are.
Yeah.
We're thinking of getting her a T-shirt made that says Dark Souls Widow.
At that point, you should have just turned around and said, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Uncomfortable silence. No more.
But she would have hit me.
And then sing it again.
But just keep going. Until she stops punching
Dave
me.
Klein for some moves. Oh my god! You could ask Dave Klein for some moves for your wedding, and then when the Reverend Priest thing goes like, do you, Patrick Stardust, take Laura Ladykins to be your lawful wedded wife? And you, at that point, you just look at her and just go like, just start breakdancing, and nobody else can hear the song because it's in your head. But you've worked on these moves, and they're expressive of your relationship. And even when she says, "Patrick, stop," you just like, yeah, I'm taking. I've still got some moves coming. I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to take it up a level, and then just look the Reverend in the eye and go, uh-huh.
Is it bad form to sort of do the ass bump thing with the registrar?
The what?
You know when you go up to someone sort of sideways and you go huh, and you sort of bump butts together on the side.
You live in a very different place to
You've
me.
never bumped a butt.
Get stabbed.
Why have you never bumped a butt?
Well, that in the court case.
It works really well with songs like The Get Lucky. Bump, bump with one on each side of you, and you just bump butts. And
which song?
The Get Lucky.
Oh, that crappy song from last year.
That song we based about 3 episodes of content around.
Honestly, I fucking hate that song. But in your absence, I have been moonlighting elsewhere.
I've seen you tart.
I've been playing some Monster Hunter with Gadget Girl Kylie and Sohel Kai.
GGK.
Yeah, and the cool stuff is that the stuff that we've been fighting has thrown me a little out of my depth, I guess, because I'm now like something like 210 hours into it.
Ooh.
But on some of those videos, I had no clue what I was doing because I hadn't seen the creature before. But that's part of the fun. But we had a really good laugh.
So was it fun hunting with GBK? No, that's not her name. She's not Gourmet Burger Kitchen.
Not
GGK. There we go.
Yeah, we had a good time, and I think that comes across hopefully on the vids. So yeah, I've been doing that, and in my solo games, I've been doing a lot of co-op with Laura Rich.
Oh.
So yeah, this is the point where you're like,
you tart.
Oh. So yeah, and it's been interesting to sort of flick back and forth really because we went back to Dark Souls because Laura had completed it and one-broed it, but hadn't done the DLC. And I was like, oh, DLC is the best part. So yeah, we went to Ulasil, and she was quite in awe of Artorias, and we'd done Calamite at this point as well.
Yeah.
But we tried to fight Calamite, but Calamite is just one magnificent dragon. So yeah, we did that, but it was interesting returning to Dark Souls from Dark Souls 2 because I was looking at it in a different way. I was noticing little things that I'd perhaps looked past or I don't know, taken for granted because I'd played the game non-stop, and it was little things that I was noticing, like the sky or walls or different the way different mechanics played out. And I know we'd said before that if there's one criticism of Dark Souls 2 from us, it does miss Miyazaki's grace and his touch a little bit. But on the other side of that, when we then returned to Dark Souls 2, we appreciated Dark Souls 2 all the more. It wasn't a case of going back to it and like, oh yeah, it really is a bit crap compared to Dark Souls, because that wasn't the case. I think we were appreciating what was there a little bit more. And
would you say this was in your so frequently offered Demons and Dark are apples and oranges? Would Dark Souls 2 perhaps be the banana in this fruit bowl of metaphor?
I genuinely think that this is a delicious bowl of fruit. But Rab Florence tweeted at the weekend where he said something like playing Dark Souls 2, and it was something along the lines of, I realise how much we've been spoiled when people complain about it. And I know people who are either a little bit apathetic about it or shrug it off a little bit, or folks that just plain don't like it, along with those of us who enjoy it for what it is and the broadening horizons that it's got. And for me, I genuinely think it's a really, really good game. It's not without its faults, but neither were the first two. And I think if there was anything, there's anything with Dark Souls 2, there's a level of expectation. And certainly lore-wise, I'm still falling into it. I'm still enjoying this world and uncovering this world. And it's, like I say, I was quite surprised when I returned to Dark Souls 2 with new appreciation rather than looking at it with sadder eyes after going back to Dark Souls, I guess.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I've not been back to Dark Souls 1 since I've been playing 2, but I'd like to. But the thing I see bandied around a lot is that, yeah, while the world isn't quite as a character as it was in the first game, it's the mechanical things that make up for it. Like, it's the Dark Souls 1 combat, but just tweaked enough to keep things interesting. Like the mixing up things like the dual wielding, like the fact you can teleport between the bonfires, that sort of thing. Little things that you think, won't make much difference, but, just makes it more easier to play, I guess. And the fact that you can just bump down to, which is the only thing I've been doing for the last, month, is just bumping off to the Undead Purgatory, jumping into the arena, just bollocking about for a little while.
How are you finding that?
I'm winning.
Because that's not unlike what I did with Monster Hunter towards the end of last year when I was working stupid hours over Christmas, and I just get home and I just found it really relaxing.
Yeah,
To jump
I'm finding
online
it fun.
and it took away a lot of the stresses of the day, and I just sort of unwound into it. And it sounds like that might be a similar sort of thing throughout the wedding-y stuff.
It's like a weird sort of fight club where if you go in knowing you're going to lose, when you win, it's way better. Because there's only one or two fights I've had in that sort of place where I've ever got angry at it. Like, I go, fuck off, you twat. Like, people that attack you when you're bowing. Or when before the patch, because now it's been patched out that you can't use Estus at all.
Yeah, I kind of dug that because there was always this unspoken sneer when someone healed within a PvP match, and I've seen it on like YouTube vids and Twitch channels when folks have been sort of a bit hissy, or like, oh, they're healing, when it was really an unspoken thing within the fandom, and it always seemed possibly a little bit elitist of the fandom.
See, you say that, I think you need to be in a fight that you're winning and then see them Estus to really understand just how bad it is.
Yeah, but it wasn't,
because I had that, and I used to hate those people that were like, oh, Estus, oh yeah, don't be an elitist, it's all fun.
Yeah, but it was part of the mechanics that were there to be used or not. And if somebody isn't keeping up with the Twitch channels and the YouTube and the lore and the Tumblr and the podcasts and all that kind of stuff, how the fuck would they know?
I suppose.
They just see that there's a mechanic where they can continue the fight and perhaps sneak in a few cheeky legs of Tango.
Yeah, it's annoying to come up, but I'm glad it's gone now. Because, yeah, I was one of the people that would, I started doing this as well. I saw people do it online. I thought, right, I'm doing that too. As soon as you start the fight, you run into sort of meet the character, wave at them, and then wallop the square button. Chug, 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 empty Estus, and then you have a fight.
Yeah, I think I might have seen that on, it might have been a Sunlight Blade vid that I first saw that on, and I thought, yeah, that's really cool.
It's nice, it's honourable, and you can show the other person, look, I'm going to fight proper, and then they do it as well. Again, one of the only other times that I've got flat out furious at the damn thing was I was doing the chug, 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 and the guy just dark magicked the shit out of me. I was like, oh, why didn't you? Oh.
Yeah, but at first they might have been thinking that you were just Estusing.
Yeah, but it was at the very start of the fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was very clearly I was a low hanging fruit, and they went for it. I think, yeah, I'm kind of happy. Yeah, like a low hanging orange,
like a bollock.
Like a hanging ginger bollock. Yeah, until you've come up against it, it's very hard to know the true frustration of seeing someone Estus. Just as you're about to beat them, you're like, "Oh, you twat! This is the arena. What are you doing?" But yeah, I've actually had a very positive time with it. I don't often come up against someone that I don't feel like I've got a chance against these days. My fist guy, I have started putting armor on him. I never used to have armor on, and I've decided, actually, you know what? I'd like to survive more than one attack. And actually have a chance of winning, because the only way of getting the cracked eye orbs in the early game before you get to New Game Plus is to earn them by beating someone in the arena. And I think I recorded it. I think I was 20 for nothing. And I was like, I really want to do some invading, but I just can't get these orbs, and I'm getting hit, and I'm dying, and I'm sick of it. So I've gone and found some decent armor now. I think I'm wearing the Mastodon armor dropped, and it looks really, really good. It's got a cool little red cape.
Didn't you, on Twitter a few days ago, actually meet someone that you'd fought?
I was getting around to this story, yes! Okay, so you remember, this is a really good story, actually, I liked it.
Thanks,
you remember,
Matt.
Thanks. You remember the last episode we did about Dark Souls, where I talked about my first, real time with the PvP and invading?
Yeah, your fisting episode where I nodded lots.
You went, yep. Well, you might recall the very first person I invaded, a chap by the name of D Sonic X, I believe. And this was one where I invaded, and I ran around the whole wharf. It was in the No Man's Wharf. I was running around. I couldn't find the bugger. I was like, where are you? Can't find you. Where are you? Eventually ran into that very, very first room that you come to in that sort of level, straight on from the bonfire. Ran straight in the room, heard a thunk, turned around and saw a spiky-haired blue person running like fuck. And I thought, am I fighting Sonic the Hedgehog here?
Uh-huh.
This is the best cosplay I've ever seen. I chased him down. Eventually, I punched him, and I just thought nothing of it.
Romance.
Punched him a bit, and yeah, it was over. And then on Twitter, a couple of days ago,
Was it Stella King Sai?
Sorry?
Was it Stella King Sai that
It was Stella King Sai, yes. Just put up a random tweet to that episode with a little time link of like 15 minutes in. It's like, hey, is this you? To D-Sonic X. And it was like, yes, it is. I remember that. And I was like, dude, that was great.
Cool.
And it turns out, so I believed that he was hiding from me and running away. I was wrong. Turns out, he couldn't see me. He was looking for me, couldn't find me. And that was the exact point where he gave up and went to go find me. So I thought he was just running away. He wasn't. He didn't know I was there. And that now, it twists my entire perception of that whole fight. And I love it. And I still remember it vividly. And I'm glad that he does. And now we're internet friends.
Cool.
On the PSN and on the Twitter. So good job, D-Sonic X. You're cool. And Stella King Sai for getting us in touch. So you're a cool guy.
Sweet. That's good. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I always seem to make friends when I invade. I don't know why.
Yeah, that is kind of bizarre.
I think it's the joy of seeing some stupid build come in. I really don't like in the arena when you come across someone, you start it and you see someone with an ironing board that's glowing yellow. You're like, oh, okay, I'm dead. Mm-hmm. Or you see them and they've already got the little 5 homing soul masses above their head. You're like, oh, okay,
yeah.
I'm not winning this one. When someone will, every now and again, like today it happened. I ran up with my stupid fist build. The person waved, threw a very good, and then took off all of their armor and weapons.
How are you finding the new patch?
The no Estus thing's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I've not really noticed any issues yet.
Has it wanked any of your weapons?
No.
Because in the stuff that we've been doing with Laura, I took on my character Magic Dave to try and get to the new DLC, and I think they've nerfed pyromancy again.
Okay.
Because when I first went through the game, in boss fights like that, like the what's the one that you bring Man Scorpion Tarkin for?
Oh, Scorpion S Nazca.
Nazca, yeah. In the first game, I was like, right, Firestorm, whoosh, 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 like tons of damage. And now I might as well be rubbing her face with plushies. And even on with Magic Dave with like miracles and stuff, like lightning spears, you get 3 now.
Wow.
Which is like, what? And even the...
Well, they were very powerful, weren't they?
Yeah, it's just I don't seem to be doing a lot with the magic choices. Sort of
maybe that's a reaction to the fact that the cleric faith build seems to be so powerful now.
Okay.
Particularly for the PvE, like the actual game. I've seen a lot of people comment that the cleric, the faith with a big smashy weapon is a really, really good build to use, and it's one of the better ones you can pick. I've actually been watching one of my favourite YouTube channels, Two Best Friends Play. 2 of those guys, Pat and Wooly, have been running Dark Souls 2, like a whole unedited playthrough. I think they're on like 9 parts now, and they've been running the cleric faith build because it is good and because it is not easy to get through, but one of the easier builds you can run the whole game with because it gives you so many options, and is a boss killer.
Oh, right.
He's a proper boss killer. Like I've seen people talk about the lightning spears and the lightning attacks can just rip most bosses in 2. Like boom, boom, boom. Okay, you're dead. Stuff that I being a stupid double fist user at the moment, I'm quite jealous of. Because I'm currently stuck. I had a quick bandy about today. I had a sort of an hour free, so I had a quick bandy in and had to go at the Duke's Deer Freya.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. The little spiders make it harder than it has any right to be because I have no range. 0 range. The only range I have is the Huck firebombs. And even then, that's hit and miss. But yeah, no, the range is always where it starts down. But like the amount of damage I'm doing, it's like, oh god, I need summons. I need people to help me. Whereas when I beat it the first time, I think I think I summoned in a couple other guys, and they were just right, spear, done. Which I suppose it makes the game hard again, so that's good, I suppose. I can't be bickering. They've made the game harder because that's what we all like. I've heard they've nerfed the Santier spear as well, which is the one you get that starts off kind of coated in a big rock, and then you have to break the rock off, and it becomes, I think, one of the best PvP weapons in the game.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
I've heard they've significantly nerfed that, which is good, because I've been ripped apart by it a few times.
Do you think there's going to be a number of these patches where they're not necessarily looking to finesse what's there, but to keep the user base on their toes and keep them using like different weapons and stuff?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, when you start hearing, like the Santier spear is the perfect example of the thing you see all the time and the thing you see everyone using. They're like, well, we don't want that. We want a mix.
Well, did you see that in the chest before the DLC there was the Murakumo?
Yes. I've just picked that up today. Yeah,
it's a bit of a beaut. I like the way it goes. Like,
I you can parry with it as well.
I leveled up with that sort of quite a bit and quite enjoyed it. But it does look like I'm carrying some sort of giant piece of orange peel with me or something. Have you
a big curly hair grip?
Yeah, which I do in real life, obviously, but not so much in games. Have you got near the DLC yet, or are you waiting until sort of after Gamescom to
I'm waiting until after Gamescom. I want to band into it properly. I want to take my time and enjoy it, and at the minute I can't do that. So I'm going to wait until after Gamescom. I'm going to come back and I'm going to eat it, and hopefully the second one should be out by the time I get round there.
Well, I picked it up, and my main character that I went through the game with is now in New Game Plus. I didn't really fancy taking New Game Plus as my debut experience for the DLC.
No, I think you're right.
That's why, because you and I set up. What was your? Is it Zaradan?
Zaradan, yes.
You had Zaradan,
done.
and I had Magic Dave, and this was for a bit of a sort of bro playthrough that we were doing because folks had said, when are you and Paddy going to do a sort of bro op playthrough? Which initially we were kind of like, well, when we first started this podcast, Paddy was inexperienced with it. With Dark Souls, I was experienced with it.
It was the old dog and the new dog.
And it was that sort of back and forth of Jedi and the Padawan. But Dark Souls, you will. And we kind of thought that we'd evolve things a little bit by having guests on and doing something a little bit different, but a few folks had said we'd like to hear you do a run together, so that's why we set up Zaradan and Magic Dave. But with the wedding building up, we never quite got time to get momentum on that and to go from episode to episode to episode, which is something that we wanted to do. So I took on Magic Dave, and Laura and I sort of were trying to progress through the game to get to the DLC sort of naturally. But I'm still finding like stuff that I did quite easily first time a little bit difficult, and I don't know if this is because I'm using a character that's because when we set up Magic Dave and Zaradan, the one rule that we got was we couldn't use anything that we used in our first run of the game. That was kind of the rule.
Spells, weapons, gear, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and on my first playthrough, I was very much the arrow merchant and used a lot of the casual fire sword. And on this one, I was used a lot of pyromancy on that character as well. And this one, I was going for miracles, and I wasn't using arrows, so I started using crossbows now, sort of trying those out, and just using a wooden club and just trying to do things a little bit differently. But I got to the chariot and was just fucking up constantly. And I was like, what?
It's a tough fight if you've not got a build you're comfortable with the chariot, because you've got to be able to. It's the skeletons, isn't it? I find.
Well, no, to be honest, I find it's that fucking horse.
Really?
Because the first time, I'm sure I was lobbing shit at it from distance and using the firestorm stuff and wasn't getting in close to it, which was it's just my play style anyway to stay as far back from something as possible. And with this, with lightning spears being nerfed as they have been, and with me having this tiny wooden club, I've got to kind of get around to the horse or round the back or round the side or whatever and twat it one. And I inevitably get kicked when I'm in the throwing animation. Like when I'm swinging like the club, that's the point where the hoofy beast smacks me in the gob and kills me. But I like the way that it's throwing me a loop, because I feel really out of my comfort zone with it. But I'm looking forward to the DLC when I get there, and it's had some good reviews. People have reacted really well to it.
It has. It really, really has. I think it actually shows as well how many people have picked it up, because the main game is pretty sparse at the moment. In terms of summons, in terms of, people being around to help. Like, there are no summon signs anywhere.
I have
which is mad.
That.
Yeah, I'm like, I wanted to beat the fucking Duke's Dear Freya, and I was like, I need help. Why would somebody help me?
Because the interesting thing is that on one of the previous playthroughs, I think it might be, that's it. The one that I'm playing through with Laura in Dark Souls is on Xbox 360, and Xbox 360 recently had Dark Souls as free games for gold.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
There's loads of people playing it.
Wow.
Like loads of people playing it, and I'm really surprised that the amount of sort of invasions and the signs on the floor and ghosts running around, it's kind of cool. And I wish that Sony had done that a little bit.
And they gave away demons about a year ago, didn't they?
Yeah, and I was under the impression that or the illusion rather, that in the run up to Dark Souls 2, it might have been prudent to kick Dark Souls on PSN, like on PlayStation Plus. It just seemed like, you build up that a little bit of momentum, but they've not done it. And
maybe there was some licensing thing with the fact that it was coming out on Games with Gold. Maybe they can't share them within certain timeframes or something.
I don't know.
It's hard to say really how the minds of our other people work.
Yeah, I just think it's a shame that there's a lot of people that seemingly jumping into Dark Souls on 360, and I've probably gone on and bought the DLC as well, judging how many people were in that. And yet things are a touch more sparse on PS3.
Yeah.
But Crown of the Sunken King seems to have gone down really well with folks. I think it was. It seems to have thrown sort of a little bit of thrown the actual game mechanics for a little bit of a loop with regards to the amount of puzzles that are there.
Yeah, I've heard puzzles. That's interesting. Is it like the kind of puzzle where you smack a thing and then a big thing moves?
Well, I think it might have been Varty was saying that there's a sort of an element of Majora's Mask to it with these puzzles, and I think there's sort of rising platforms and stuff where you sort of hit switches and different things not only rise but reveal, and it's how you get around. I think there's criticism that a lot of the enemy types are the same, but there's new weapons in there, new rings, and
isn't there an enemy that's like a crawling thing with a bunch of those poison statues on its back?
Yes,
that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I kind of dug that as well.
Those poison statues are my least favourite thing in the world.
But I'm looking forward to seeing how this relates to the main game as well. That if this is stuff that's just been cut because the main game was too big, or if they had in place from day one, right, this is going to be the game, this is going to be the DLC, then this, and then it wouldn't surprise me if there's like a Game of the Year edition about December time at the same time as they're rumouring the Xbox One and PS4 versions. Because
I'd play it again.
Yeah, PS4. I mean, I'd pick it up again as well. I mean, there's the piece that was floating about on the internet was from Tesco.com, and folks were saying, "Oh, look, there's something up there for Christmas time," but the listing didn't have any artwork on it, and was for December the 31st, 2013. So that's why I wondered if it was just some old placeholder from when we didn't know what the release date was, and when Xbox 360, PS3 and PC dates kicked in, those were replaced and official artwork was there, and they perhaps just left the placeholders up.
Forgot about them, left them there, and they've sort of false flagged up.
But that said, it would make sense for things to be released around then, and also if Sony are building up to Bloodborne around about February time.
From if reports are to be believed, yes,
that'd be a nice little bit of momentum to, and people would play the shit out of that on the next gen consoles, where there's not really that many.
And do you know what's even better?
Big experiences yet.
Playing it on the next gen consoles is that okay? So I have Dark Souls 2. I put it in my PS4. I press one button and I'm streaming it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like, yeah. Or like you can save, you know, your favourite PvP fights you've had, you know, or a cool thing happens, you can go, boom, save it without dicking about. Like, on the Xbox One and the PS4, you can do that. Whereas if you want to do that at the moment, you have to be connected in and have all your gear on and be recording all the time. And frankly, I don't have the patience.
Well, hopefully it's not going to be too long now until I get a PS4. So if that was the case, that it was released on PS4 around Christmas time, I will ask the listenership now. Whereas everybody will be fucking streaming it anyway. Would you tune into a Twitch stream of Paddy and I going through Dark Souls 2? Because it's something we've spoken about before, isn't it?
Definitely.
And not quite knowing if PC could handle Skype and Elgato stuff.
Yeah, because our like. Your PC is a dinosaur from past times. I mean, mine's not a slouch, but I don't know if it could support that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's something that we would like to do, definitely. So if it's something that you'd be interested in, sort of let us know, like.
And we will try and accommodate. In the vein of other cross media things as well, Craft Souls isn't dead.
Okay.
Craft Souls will return. There are plans, but other plans involving a certain day have ruined those plans.
Understand this.
But yeah, there are plans. Craft Souls is not dead. Craft Souls will return, and if you like making things, you're going to be happy.
So, in the time when you've not been able to play the game, or you've been de-stressing, have you watched any stuff from the community?
I have, in fact. I've been watching the previously mentioned Best Friends playing it. Two Best Friends play. Really good channel. I love it to pieces because they're just like regular guys. None of it, like, they're quite wacky with the things they talk about, but it never feels like they're forcing it. It's just, this is what these people talk about. And I like that. They're quite genuine, interesting, fun guys. But I've also been watching quite a lot of Sunlight Blades top 10s as well.
Oh man!
Because I've been getting into the PvP, and like now I understand it all. I'm like, oh, and I get it now. I get why this is fun and why this is cool. Because I used to kind of appreciate them when I watched the Dark Souls 1 ones. I was like, oh, they're pretty good. But you know, it's something I never thought I could get, you know, to that point. And now I'm watching, thinking, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, I watch those videos generally, particularly the Dark Souls ones, and just going, these people have a skill, and a game I know, but a skill that I could never master. They're really good, but I enjoyed watching them. But I honestly think that Sunlight Blade is getting better and better with these videos. That the hardcore survival mode vids that he's been doing, where he started the game and he has to invade and beat somebody in an area
using a weapon from that place.
Yeah, then tackle the boss using a weapon from that specific area. Great to watch. The Mirror Knight Summons one was fucking great.
Really good.
Really, really like that. And
loved it.
I love those PvP top 10s. And there's a number of times where we're watching, I'll go, and the vid itself will be like number 7 in the list, and I'll be like, no, you're not going to be that. No, there was one recently where the number 1 was somebody in Heidi's Tower of Flame who was fighting the host while 2 phantoms rained down arrows from a balcony far above.
Yeah.
Dude was just dodging these arrows and twatting the host as well. Fucking great. And also there was one with somebody was using the is it a miracle where you can turn yourself white like the phantoms?
I think it was a ring.
Yeah, and he was the person was running in with two phantoms, and essentially there were three white characters on screen, and it wasn't obvious which one was the host, and the guy took down the host straight away. It was amazing. But I love those vids, and I genuinely think you can look at the editing and the sharp as fuck, but also the fact that he's putting out such great videos in the time space that he's doing as well.
Absolutely.
Is a pure fucking pleasure, and I don't know how many people sort of say things, but I really enjoy them. And often when I'm watching YouTube stuff, it will be either when I'm having my dinner at the end of the day, or when I'm having breakfast, when I'm working out in the morning, and you know, especially within sort of exercise stuff, which is always fucking mundane as shit when it's just like crunch, crunch, lean, crunch, and you know, you're laughing, or you're gasping, or you're entertained like that. I fucking love it. So
absolutely. And it seems as well, according to Twitter, that Sunlight Blade is going to Gamescom. So if you're listening, hit me up, bro.
Well, he's already sort of mentioned that he was going and stuff. So yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd love to meet you in the Bloodborne queue.
And I'll see afterwards if I can get you both on the podcast talking about it, and then set you on fire from distance with jealousy.
Yep. There's going to be much praise.
So yeah, on the subject of, because you were talking about your two best friends thing, maybe ignorantly before this point, but I discovered another Dark Souls podcast. So
another one?
Yeah, if anyone's not tuned into this before, it's the Dark Souls 2. So the 2 is TWO. DarkSouls2.com. Really entertaining, good conversation about the game. I've been enjoying sort of going from the start and sort of seeing them evolve, and it's been good fun. So in the same way as we celebrate our American brothers, I'd go over to the Dark Souls 2, have a listen, and tell them we said hi, but also give them some good feedback and tell other folks, because it's always nice when the community sort of shares this sort of stuff. And no, they seem like good folks. And
what is it about pairs of people that do Dark Souls podcasts?
I did have this realization though the other day that Gary and Cole
from the Bonfire side chat,
one is a brunette and one is a redhead.
Oh,
but as far as I can tell from the pictures of the Dark Souls 2, none of them have ginger hair.
Right, they need to fix that.
Obviously, is an oversight. So I could maybe take a picture and put it into paint and select orange. But I feel that would be doing them a disservice, because they really should sort that out themselves.
Well, if they do want help with being more ginger, I do have a spare wig.
Yeah, that's that.
I wish I was lying.
That would be good, but it's getting it through customs as well.
Yeah, an odd wig is a bit suspicious.
But seriously, go and check them out. The DarkSouls2.com. They're good gents, and they do a really entertaining show. So check that out.
Oh, right. But, I will, and our listeners should too.
I was happy to stumble upon it. So
great.
In other news, the return of ENB.
Yeah, is he back?
Yeah, have you watched any of the vids?
No, I haven't had the time. His videos are slightly too long for me, I have to say.
The first one was speaking about the hoops that he's had to jump through since returning to the States, and getting a visa for his wife and daughter. And it sounds like he's been through a fair bit. So he talks about all of that stuff, which, you know, is for a man that genuinely loves his family, to have gone through what he's gone through to get them over. and also, you know, proving a degree of income as well when he's stepping up to the plate with more YouTube stuff is difficult to do. But it sounds like everybody's been pulling in the same direction, sort of family wise and stuff. And you know, an interesting vid. There was kind of a bit of a caveat at the end where he was saying about what he wanted to do with the channel and going into like other RPG stuff. But there was one bit where I kind of went, where he said, I don't want to just do, you know, 10 things about Dark Souls 2 and stuff like that. And I kind of caught my breath a little bit because I was thinking, on the one hand, is he just saying that I don't want to do that? Like, genuinely, I want to do something else with the channel. Or was it a little bit of a side swipe to elsewhere?
A little dig, maybe.
And that's it made me a little bit uncomfortable when I first listened. And I'm sure it, you know, I'm sure it was just a piece from the heart where he was saying, like, I don't want to do that. But having listened to the video and enjoyed the video and sort of, you know, I find him very good company when he talks to us. But
yeah, maybe it's more of a, you know, he wants to do his own style of content in the same way as, you know, when we started our show back up again.
How many times?
Yeah, again, for like the fourth time. You know, obviously we've all got our own things, and some of the ideas we were floating around were very, very similar to what Bonfireside Chat were doing. But, you know, we decided we didn't want to do what they do because, you know, they do what they do. They're good at what they do. You know, we both enjoy it, and
they do it better than we could ever do.
Yeah,
let's face it. They really, really do.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe it's that sort of thing of, you know, forging your own path. You know, there are 2 or 3 people I can think of on YouTube at the top of their head that do a lot of top 10 sort of videos, and maybe he wants to do his own thing and, you know, be away from that. Maybe hopefully it's not a dig. The community all seem quite nice, don't they? So
yeah, I mean, and he doesn't seem like that sort of bloke. But
no.
But yeah, since he's returned, he finished off Dark Souls 2, and there was a real feeling of like, has this been nerfed? Because obviously he was involved with the game before its released, and he was surprised at the degree that the enemies were going down. And this then spilled on to, because he started up run-throughs of Valkyrie Profile Samaria.
Those were all words that meant nothing to me.
No, I don't know it either. But he's also started up playthroughs of Demon Souls and Dark Souls again. But having a little bit of a chat. The fucking joy of Dark Chat +1, which is the second one that he did, was just how Dark Souls humbled him again. He was like pissing himself laughing because he was dying a lot and getting bested by the enemies. And it's a really great video to watch. I enjoyed it a huge amount. And you know, there's me on my squishy, comfortable yoga mat doing crunches, and then him going like, "Fuck, Taurus demon," and I'm just sitting there going like, "No." And not doing that in a kind of like, "Oh my god, you're never good at Dark Souls," because I'm not very good at Dark Souls. But it was just,
"Are you not very good at Dark Souls?
I'm not very good at Dark
Souls. You should get good.
But I like Dark Souls.
Get good."
But it was just great to watch, and there's always that thing with the games anyway, that if you become a little too confident with them and haven't played them for a while, they'll just hand you your arse.
Totally.
But it was just really, really funny to watch. But he also spoke about the folks who do the translations and how the script's not just handed to them by From, that there's a back and forth constantly with Frog Nation, who do the voice stuff, which are a company that used to be owned by Sato, who's an amazing screenwriter who's worked on things like Cowboy Bebop and Ergo Proxy and like a lot of anime that I really, really love. And I believe that Sato has actually done the Japanese translation for Watch Dogs. In which case, can I play the Japanese version of Watch Dogs, please? Because he's really cool. But yeah, it's great to have him back, and especially putting out the content he's doing as well. And you know, I enjoy his company, like I say. So I've watched the first two of the Dark Souls chats ones. I haven't watched the Demon Souls one yet, but
Oh, good. I think the only other thing I've got on YouTube that I've been watching a lot of, Souls-wise, I completely forgotten the name of the channel, but if you search for the name of the video, you'll find it. It's a guy who's making videos called Souls TV.
Okay.
And I'm going to need to find it while I'm talking, so if you hear clicky sounds, that's because I'm looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Souls TV is like a whole bunch of like really silly, weird, glitchy, sort of broken stuff that happens, all kind of hashed together in that very sort of quick mishmash, sort of smash cut 5-second bits on YouTube. And it's really, really funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, really, really good. There's so much weird stuff that happens in the game, and, you know, like, just little stupid sound bites clipped over the top of it and stuff. I found the name of that channel. The guy's name is Oozie, and that's spelled Ooziee. Oozie.
Okay. Yeah.
If you just Google Souls TV, you should find it pretty easy. But yeah, just lots of weird, funny, sort of stupid invasions that don't work, or things that, you know, don't work as expected. Funny. That's all I can say. Smash cuts. Very funny.
Cool. I'll check those out. Have you seen? Hi, I'm Dave Klein. Dave's put out an amazing Secret of Mana video.
I saw that appear. I have not watched it yet.
Yeah, it's really, really good. You can tell it's a massive labour of love. Superbly edited. Takes the piss out of the game a little bit, but in a really kind of knowing, sort of loving hug kind of way. But fantastic video, and you can tell it's nice to see sort of Dave taking risks with the channel again. And you know, obviously he's done Soul stuff and Kingsfield stuff, and I love his work, but it takes it to a new level. And it deserves the attention.
Yeah,
so
it seems like he's doing stuff that he wants to do rather than doing, you know, Minecraft videos.
Again, I really enjoy his company, should we say? So yeah, that's double cool.
Good. It's always nice to see someone doing something they like because they like it as well.
Yeah, and
you know, not just for hits, but because, you know, they genuinely just want to talk about the thing.
But I kind of skipped the SNES Mega Drive generation. Anyway, I was gigging and making music and all that.
Wait,
kind
is
of
that
stuff.
gigabytes?
No, I was.
Is this a reboot thing?
I was doing band stuff at that point in my life, so I missed that generation. So to see someone talk really warmly and with great humour about a game that looks really cool that I've not played, I've got a world of time for that. And you know, I think he's a warm guy, and he's always been double supportive of us. So so yeah, love you, Dave.
Thumbs up.
Let me see.
Hey Dave, you going to Gamescom? Let me know.
Our friend of the show, Timur Hussain, has been continuing the CVG live streams around about 6 o'clock-ish on a Thursday.
Exactly the time when I'm going to miss them.
Yeah. I don't get to see all of them because I work sort of quite bizarre shifts. But yeah, really good. Timur's an ace. Love him to pieces, and good people in the chat as well. So if you are around, do tune in for that. It's CVG_live at Twitch. But yeah, double worth checking out.
Good GG.
And in elsewhere, QWERTY, who are a t-shirt company, have been. Yeah, I can.
I have very QWERTY t-shirts hit about 1 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I mean, there is a degree of ZOMFG. It's Sherlock in the Millennium Falcon, and Chewbacca is Pikachu.
And there's a minion for some reason.
Yeah, and
kill
there's
me.
a degree of that within a lot of it, but they're putting out some really good Dark Souls t-shirts. I got a really cool Praise the Sun t-shirt from them a couple of months back. T-shirt quality was amazing, like really, really good, and the print came out really well. Got another Praise the Sun design, and recently had that thing that a piece of artwork that Bread Knight has as his avatar on Twitter, which is basically a Gorillaz cover, but it says Lord and Dark Days, and it's got sort of
Artorias and Havel and a little sleepy onion bro.
yeah. And it's I really like it. It's a bit.
See, when that came up, I initially went, "They've stolen that," and then I looked at it. It's like, oh, it's the guy who made it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my rage subsided rather quickly.
But seemingly the people that are voting on stuff, if there's a copy that goes up there, it'll get mentioned and it'll get torn down. There was one that was a bit of a rip of piece of artwork that Gibbs Raynock had done for Grossmack, and it was instantly identified. And I'm sure the artist said, "Oh, it was inspired by," and it's like, "No, it's not. You've copied the artwork." But yeah, Gibbs is on Grossmack at Etsy. He's put up another amazing piece of artwork. This time it's the Looking Glass Night, and it's almost like a 50s movie cover. Ooh. Absolutely superb, with kind of the knight leaning in and like somebody inside the mirror of the shield, like pressed against it with their hands against it. I have places in my living room that artwork from that man has to appear. So yeah, check them out because they're really, really good pieces. And I believe Gibbs has done a poster for Shovel Knight, which is something that you have played to death. But
God, it's good.
I'm waiting for on Wii U.
God, it's good. It's really, 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 really good.
Everybody seems to think that as well.
Yeah, because it's really good. I don't have any more words. It's really good. I wish I could enunciate more.
But yeah, that's our little catch up as to what we've been doing and the delays on the show. But coming up, we'll have the hopefully a hands-on with Bloodborne from Gamescom with Paddy. We'll be able to talk in more detail about the DLC. I'd like us to do a bro run.
Yeah,
I think it would be neat to.
Maybe we could do it in a slightly quicker pace than the last one because we're all quite well versed in it now. But definitely a bro run.
I think if even between regular episodes of this, if we had like the little bro runs that were like half an hour each or whatever, just like little snippets of podcasts, that'd be kind of cool as to what we've been up to.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be averse to that at all. And on the we had a couple of guests that we had to delay a little bit because of
timing reasons.
Yeah.
Many things.
So we've got a couple of guests hopefully for future shows on Twin Humanities, but also other Humanities. We've got a couple of cool folks lined up for there as well. So keep with us. We really appreciate any support and comments on YouTube and Twitter. And so, if you are listening to the show, if it makes you smile, if something made you laugh, if it spontaneously made you burp on the bus, just let us know. Spread the word and all that. And if you've got any questions as well, we've been on about like doing a listener questions thing for a while.
Yeah, we'd like some interaction, I think, wouldn't we?
Yeah, so send those along, and I'll cut and paste them into a Word document. And it might be a while before we get back to it because Patrick's got his big day and stuff. But hopefully within this Bloodborne DLC super catch-up uber smish that we do, we'll pile them in then, and we'll have the greatest cake of all. It's easy to achieve.
But CJ, if someone wants to send in a question, where might they send it?
I found the great. Just bung it to us on Twitter or YouTube, or we'll sieve them with our magical golden sieve of siveness.
Or computers.
Yeah, just send them.
Yeah, we might, we'll see how it goes. The show's always going to evolve. We're looking to do something with Destiny when that comes out because we're both rather excited for the Destiny. I think I played the alpha, you've played the beta. I'm rather looking forward to it.
Yeah, we might as well put this out there now. We're probably going to do something on Destiny as well because you played the alpha on PS4.
I did.
I played. Being a poor man at this stage that only has last gen consoles, I played it on 360 and loved it. It seems to be quite divisive for people. Some people have said that they're interested in it. It's flatlined since playing the beta. For me, I was really taken aback by moments in the story where I kind of went, oh. I liked Dinklage's voiceover, I must admit, but also the fact that where the story would funnel us down a direction and say, you know, you need to go to here and do this with the thing, they'd often be like, oh, look, there's a ship that's going over. I'll fight them over there. Oh, look, there's some other people that are fighting stuff. A lot of the time, I just twatted about killing stuff because I enjoyed twatting about killing stuff. And
I spent a lot of time in the alpha doing the same thing, which we probably would have heard about had our last podcast not broken at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did all of this, didn't I? But none of you will ever hear that. But yeah, same things for me. Bollocking about, just saying, oh, look, what's that over there? And you go over there and there's people shooting and you shoot with them and they're all happy.
I like the difference with the difficulty as well. Because I started playing it and it was on the normal mode. And I switched it up to hard because I've always had in the back of my mind on this sort of stuff, Andy Hamilton from Midnight Resistance just goes through everything on hard and then like Uber. And I just thought, well, that might be the more challenging experience. And the difference generally seems to be that when you're targeting ordinarily, if your crosshair is a little bit away from an enemy, kind of this extra little circle will go onto the enemy and you'll essentially hit them. If you switch up to hard, you've just got your crosshair, but you'll earn extra experience points for it.
Okay.
And I found that I just got used to that really, really quickly. But often with the missions, I'd be like trolleying into things with like new weapons and just going like, oh yeah, this was really cool. Yeah, I'm glad I switched this onto hard. And then I get into an actual mission where it was like, you know, there are no summoning here, and it would do like the little skull and crossbones in the corner, and I'd be like, what the fuck did I do? But I'd end up getting through those missions with almost like a degree of Dark Souls, like holding my breath, but I can do this. And I really dug the fuck out of that.
Oh, cool.
And I only played it, I didn't get a beta code, I only played it when they opened up the beta to everybody, and played it possibly Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But really enjoyed it, and was thrown a loop at a certain point where I just went exploring the map and went into a cave, started shooting a captain and like some of these grunts and stuff, and it, rather than numbers coming off, it just said immune. I was like, what? But I dug that I went off the beaten track. But it's yeah, I'm a really big Halo fan, but some of those things were what I was wanting from Far Cry 3 but didn't get. With that level of sort of exploration and wanting to go off the beaten path. And
I think a lot of that sort of thing is the reason. I think the reason why we want to do something with Destiny, because I think it's got the potential for some good stories.
Yeah, and you know, it's going through that sort of thing together and experiencing the adventure.
Well, that, and let's be fair, somebody probably said once it's a bit like Dark Souls, and we both went, "Ooh."
Well, the designers there was an interview on Polygon. And they were asking about inspirations, and the designers were saying, just kind of looked at each other, blushed lovingly, and said Dark Souls. And you can almost see that within like the online world. And it's probably the first game. No, it's not the first game to take on the Dark Souls mechanic, because Watch Dogs has done that to a degree as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But possibly the first game that was announced that was going to have those kind of mechanics, perhaps. But yeah, it just looks cool, and I think that whereas we started Twin Humanities with the aspect of me being really familiar with Dark Souls and you not being, I just think it'd be interesting with Destiny, with me being a really big Halo fan and a fan of first-person shooters, and you not being,
yes,
but you quite liking RPGs, and even sort of. Your good lady's a bit of an RPG enthusiast, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
So I just think there's there's a little bit of scope for some interesting chats and something deliciously precocious, and wonderfully sumptuous. So hopefully we're going to get that sorted as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are plans. We've kind of bounced around a little bit, but Paddy and I didn't really want to chat before we started recording. It was like, right, let's just fire up the recording stuff and batter back and forth between us. So if you've reached this point, thanks for enduring. Hope you enjoyed it.
This rambling stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Been fun though.
You missed us a bit.
Yeah, I hope you missed us. We've missed each other, I guess.
We missed you.
Yeah, too.
And hopefully we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, it'll probably be, like we say, I'm off to Gamescom for my honeymoon. So we're probably talking later part of August when we come back. But when we're back, we're going to be back strong.
I think we should hammer into this in a big way when we come back. Plus, we'll have the Destiny stuff. We'll have guests and all that kind of stuff.
Listener interaction. We may even set you homework.
What?
There'll be homework. There'll be a test.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.